Welcome back to the Airthings Masters, the first event of the Meltwater Chess Champions Tour. This is day 4, round 14, and the games have been lively. It looks like there's already quite a bit of action going on. So,
Yeah, it looks like Hans is playing the same opening today against Prague that he did against Esipenko. Same exact
I
line.
was going to say, we have seen this.
Yeah, except in that game, Esipenko played h6 early, right in this position, I think.
I believe you're correct, yes.
But here, Prague goes bishop e7, which is another way to kind of delay knight f6, but then he goes knight f6 anyway. And now just f3, takes, castles, and h6. So we essentially just get the same position, I think, by transposition,
Mm-hmm.
where
And I
Hans
think
played knight h4, right, in the last game?
yeah, and I think we agreed. We kind of liked Hans's position, but then, he slowly ran into trouble.
Yeah, a really dynamic position. He's got this open f file. He's hitting this one now. And he played h3, g4, so I assume the plan was to go play for some g5 break at some point.
He's had a lot of these positions where he's got these kingside pawns rolling early on in his openings.
Yeah, that's the thing, that we should really praise about Hans is that he's not like backing down in any game, playing for a draw. He's just like trying to win, putting pressure with white, going for the win, going for the attack, and yeah, that's how you improve your chess in the long run. So
Yeah, so Prague has jumped in here with Queen G3. Feels like kind of an annoying little move.
mm-hmm.
I guess the threat, pretty clear threat here. So okay, I was gonna say, so what? Yeah, so just bishop. Yeah, I mean you're forced to play rook f2 here because otherwise, I mean I guess you could play knight e1, but rook f2 certainly feels a little more natural.
Yeah, and Hans seems very confident. I mean, he's barely under 15 minutes here. So he
Yeah,
seems to be totally fine with what's happening, and I don't blame him. I mean, he wants to put his rook on g2, and he's really the one attacking here.
exactly. Yeah, I mean that something could easily happen. I mean, it feels like the action is starting to shift around this G file in many ways. So this H pawn is black. Do you just ignore it because maybe even if the pawn takes on G7, do you just move the rook and almost use it like a little shield?
Yeah,
Or
mm-hmm.
I
That could
assume
be
you
one
wouldn't want to.
idea. I don't know. It makes
It's yeah,
sense. Yeah,
it's
and you don't have to worry about it. You can just get your pieces in.
yeah. Still though, I mean, it feels okay. I was going to use the other thing. Do you just play G6? So that also seems very clearly very
G6.
very natural. I mean,
Mm.
this position seems very interesting with pawns.
Yeah, it's super sharp, and Hans just played this move Queen D2, which is somewhat somewhat surprising, but I think he has a very clear threat of going H7 check and Queen
Yeah,
H6. Yeah, I mean you hit the bishop on H3, you force Black to maybe take, Rook G2, and then
right.
White's other bishop comes out like Bishop F4. Basically, it's like yes, Black's king's starting to show lots of signs of weakness here.
If rook b7, like what do you do? Bishop d6? Does that do anything? I mean, you'd like to move
Mm,
that knight, but then the bishop's hanging on
right.
on e7, or do you just even challenge that rook somehow?
Here's Rook B8. Yeah, just challenge it. Exactly. So Rook B8, yeah, this feels like the most active move in the position. Hans can snag another pawn, but then Rook B1,
Yeah,
pretty annoying. You don't really want to allow that.
yeah,
So he could trade and then play Queen F4.
yeah. I feel like that's what I would, because then you'll get your bishop out, and that rook b1 check. You've got a nice little square to go to on h2 with no problem,
Yeah.
if you wanted to. Or even I guess you could even just play rook f1 if you thought if you thought thinks that's better. So yeah, it feels like he's certainly not in any danger here. And now what do you do? Do you play something just like rook b3, try to get some material back?
Yeah, Rook B3 looks very natural. I mean,
That
I don't think
bishop on,
black is super worried about being a pawn down, right? Because this one's not really going
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that bishop on f5 feels, well, so see, feels pretty happy. I think it's controlling that b1 square against the rook, so sort of the one open file.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I guess now how do you defend the e2 pawn?
Yeah, this is a nice move, rook e8, very annoying for white. You don't really want to go
I
e3.
guess exactly. I mean, that's really right. The only way to keep it. But yeah. Okay. So just like you said, knight g5 seems natural. Little little you know minor tactics here to do a little something. Yeah. So do you think would you still play h7 here?
Yeah, maybe h7. Although you really don't have to, because now h7, I'm not sure there's much of a follow up after king g7.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Do you this bishop a4?
no, maybe
Does
bishop
that make any sense?
f4, but then yeah, we're just dropping e2, right? Like black just trades. But
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, but again, what do you do about e2? That I guess just to circle back, do you play bishop f3 here?
well, he has bishop f3. Yeah, if he wants, you can also think about a4, maybe a4, a5. Just to go for some counterplay against the d5 pawn.
Right, that seems also quite clever.
Bishop h. I was just actually just noticing this work on the f file. Maybe white can like look for some e4 ideas, but Hans goes bishop h3. And now if black takes this one, I feel like you have to consider some tactics with like h7.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, now h7 does come into it.
Maybe not a big deal. We'll still have to probably recapture.
It's giving something I think white to play with a little
Rook
bit.
takes f7. Yeah, I was about to mention this. I realized this was Hans's idea. He sacks a piece to threaten mate in two. So rook g7 check.
Right,
King moves, knight f7 mate, or knight h7 mate.
right.
Black goes bishop e6 though. This is what I was thinking about. Like, well, he can cover at the f7 square,
So you just check and then
but
get
he just
the
takes, and it just
light
takes
bridge.
here.
Yeah, this seems nice. Now, after bishop after bishop e1, isn't bishop f4 just like coming with great effect, as they say?
Yeah, yeah. On the board, I think knight
Is it?
c4 only move. And now he can take his piece back whenever he wants, but he's also no rush because black is not threatening to take the pawn as long as this knight f7. It's a very interesting construction here that Hans has come up with.
Yeah, he's playing this one quite nicely.
Yeah,
Definitely some interesting moves.
yeah, he's got to be winning here.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm not totally sure about what he's done, but let's see. So he decided to just go for the a pawn, gives up c3, goes e3, bishop d2. So he's still going to get a second extra pawn, but it's like material is very reduced here, so black is going to have certain drawing chances as well.
yeah, it didn't the yeah. It's saying slightly. I mean, I'm sure you're seeing it too. What? Just slightly better or a little better for white, but I mean, it looked
And
like
this is
white
why, because
was.
black has this rook e8, and yeah, e3 is falling. So it won't be so easy for Hans anymore. I think he's just going to be pawn up. Yeah, I just want to check back in. Somehow this e3 pawn never got captured.
Oh, and it says, yeah, now it's just saying clear winning for white, from what I'm seeing. So something Prague let it slip somehow.
Yeah. But again, not surprising. I was saying, still looks great. Winning chances for white. Extra pawn, more time. I feel like it's the eval bar. It often confuses us because it says one thing and we're like, oh, he blew it. It's no longer winning. But actually, no, he pretty much was in control the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes Magnus just plays like that. Looks like Hans did win.
Oh, congrats to
Bravo, Hans.
Hans.
Magnus just won as well. So well done. Let's see what happened at the end here.
Yeah,
Knight g5 check, and black was
yeah,
forced to give. So this rook f6 move, this was killer.
yeah. You just that king is trapped right on it looks happy on e4 until you realize it's just caged in.
Yeah. Now black can't take on e3 because white takes, and then knight d6 check picks up
Yeah.
the rook. So yeah, rook g8, knight g5 check, and that was resigns.